Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Kyle Clark. A Weld County deputy shot themselves and injured another deputy during training today. Happened at a facility near Carr up by the Wyoming line. 9 News reporter Colton Chavez is there. So Colton's going to explain more about what we know tonight.
We know both deputies are expected to be okay. What we're working to learn more information about is exactly how this thing happened. Now, outside of the facility, there are safety signs posted to keep something like this from happening. The signs say shooters should always treat a weapon as if it's loaded and to keep their fingers off the trigger. The sheriff's office says this happened at the end of a shooting session around 3 o'clock this afternoon. They say a deputy was securing their gear when their gun went off, injuring themselves and another deputy. Both deputies went to the hospital. The Sam Brownlee training facility opened in November of last year. Online, the facility says the outdoor shooting range complex includes 6 distinct ranges with distances up to 300 yards, as well as classrooms and meeting areas inside. As of tonight, we're working to learn more information about how those deputies are doing and if the deputy whose gun went off will face any disciplinary action. The Weld County Sheriff's Office has not answered our questions as of tonight. In Weld County, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
Storms dropped some hail in Fort Collins this afternoon, and tonight the rain is coming down in the Denver metro area. 9 News meteorologist Kathy Sabin's out in the backyard. It's wet out there, Kathy.
Yeah, it looks great. It smells great. There's a lot of lightning around the area and no snow in Denver, although this is a month when we could certainly see snow. Those of you along the Front Range foothills and up over in the higher terrain might wake up to a light dusting of snow tomorrow. You hear that? The rain's picking up, turning heavy again here in the 9 News backyard. Outside we go. The roads are wet. The next round of showers moving through. We had a powerful cold front move in from the north, and now we're sitting at 59 degrees in Denver, 40 in Leadville. The winds are increasing as well, and it's a cold wind out of the north, driving showers and thunderstorms into northeastern Colorado that have turned severe. We had a land spout 8 miles south of Burlington, 1-inch diameter hail. Look at the lightning out there, and 58 to 60 mile per hour damaging thunderstorm wind gusts. And Denver's not done with the rain yet. Here comes the next wave. Many of you getting to go to sleep to the sound of rain on the roof and maybe a little lightning in the distance. Isolated storms that could turn severe. That's certainly something that we'll be tracking throughout the evening, but this push will move through over the next few hours. We're going to get a little bit of a break, and then we're going to do this all over again tomorrow. It's all part of your weather headlines after a cool overnight period. When you step out tomorrow, it is going to feel like fall. The temperatures go even cooler with more rain in the forecast. All those details in just a bit.
The shooting at Evergreen High School lasted 9 minutes.
And in those 9 minutes, the shooter fired 20 rounds, injuring 2 of his classmates before killing himself. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office released the timeline today. They say a 16-year-old student used a revolver to shoot a classmate inside school, then went outside and shot another. The shooter then killed himself as law enforcement closed in. The 2 injured students are still in the hospital tonight, and the school is closed for the week. Today, we heard from 2 student body presidents as they try to process the trauma of the day and comfort their classmates.
A place where you used to feel safe, you don't anymore. We're just doing everything we can to make the kids feel safe and feel loved and just feel some sort of sense of normalcy, but I don't know if that's even possible.
It is the hardest week of a lot of our lives. There's going to be a lot of sadness and a lot of heartbreak, but if I've learned anything the past 4 or 5 days, it's that loving one another through this is the only possible way we can get through it.
Those students told us that after the interviews, they plan to go back to what they've been doing for many days now, delivering meals to the victims' families, organizing events for students to get together, and making sure that everyone has someone to talk to about what happened. The shooting in Evergreen has started new conversations in other districts about what safety looks like there.
And tonight, parents and school leaders came together in Douglas County to talk about that. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause takes us inside the meeting.
Dozens of parents came out to hear more about how their child's schools are protected. Many parents say they're concerned and believe the district can and should be doing more.
I'm really happy to see that there's a lot of eager individuals here learning and trying to do everything to put our best foot forward here. I have to be the first person in the room to say we're not doing enough.
Parents are sounding off about safety and security in schools nearly 1 week after 2 students were shot at their school in Evergreen. 2 Dougco moms who were in Evergreen the day of the shooting say they spoke with a student there about safety issues that are worrying in every school.
So when we were talking to this kid from Evergreen, he was continuously telling us that he has no idea what to do during lunch. There's no protocol gone over. It's all based on when they're in classrooms and they shut the door and that's what they do. But when something happens outside of that, no one has any idea what to do. So what happens when they're not in a classroom and how do we protect them?
Being here to talk about the safety of our kids is the most important thing that any of us can do.
Superintendent Aaron Kane says they've invested millions in adding SROs and making buildings more secure. Republican Sheriff Darren Weekly says their department has the largest SRO program in the state, and they're always ready to respond.
For every parent that's here today, we train for your worst nightmare. Make no mistake about it. We want the relationships. We want the officers to have those relationships with the kids and the faculty and everything else. But if evil comes to that school, those officers are prepared to act.
Dougco mom Megan Storhog says she appreciates the district sharing how they keep kids safe, but wants to see safety loopholes closed.
My child candidly told me, Mom, not every teacher has a thing that goes down on the door. The doors don't always lock. His school has continuously left their inner doors wide open. And that is my concern as a parent, is there needs to be less of an emphasis on car line and more of an emphasis on consistent safety protocol and practices for the students and staff.
The district says safety may not always be perfect, but it's always a priority. Parents say they want to see more open communication and dialogue when it comes to keeping their children safe. In Douglas County, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Other districts are talking about safety as well. Denver Public Schools and Boulder Valley Schools say they're working to strengthen security and take every threat seriously. Cherry Creek is sharing safety details with parents to help them feel safe sending kids to school. Pueblo County has chosen a new coroner. He's going to replace Brian Cotter, the Republican who resigned after 24 bodies were found stashed in a hidden room inside his privately owned funeral home. County commissioners chose Dr. Gregory Grayheck to serve out the remaining 15 months of Cotter's term. Grayheck is a nurse practitioner who runs a private medical practice with 2 other doctors. He does not have any direct experience with death investigations, but argues his experience has prepared him for it.
I've been in medicine for almost 19 years, and the end stage of life is death. So I see it every day. I deal with it.
Grayheck plans to become a certified death investigator. That is required if he were to run for a full term as coroner. He has to give his fingerprints and pass a background check before he can be officially sworn in. The former coroner, Brian Cotter, has not yet been criminally charged. CBI says the investigation into his funeral home was going to take some time. The agency has now identified 4 of the 24 bodies left at Davis Mortuary.
Federal immigration enforcement is happening in Colorado, we think daily, right? It's quietly, privately happening, sometimes, though, very publicly, like in Summit County today, where it drew an angry crowd of neighbors who wanted immigration agents to leave their town alone.
And 9 News reporter Spencer Soysher joins us now. Spencer, these people were not happy to see federal agents in Frisco.
Yeah, this afternoon, agents appeared to be finishing some sort of operation at a popular Mexican restaurant, and it's not clear if the agents were already planning to leave when people started showing up outside and yelling at them to get out. A fluid situation, and a not so welcoming one for federal agents carrying out an operation at a Mexican restaurant in Frisco.
The vehicles were trying to drive off with caution tape that was just like attached to their windows, and we were like, pick up your trash.
This woman shot video on her phone of the agents leaving the restaurant. She asked not to be named, had a fear of any retaliation.
Some people were standing in front of the vehicles and weren't letting them leave. And then the police came up and they were like, hey, if you want them to leave, you need to let them leave.
The Summit County Sheriff's Office said ICE was in the area on a federal criminal investigation. ICE said Homeland Security was there carrying out a criminal search warrant, but didn't provide more details, like if anyone was detained.
There were a lot more people that were watching or protesting or all that than there were agents.
There is such a thing as strength in numbers.
Oh, yep, that's ICE.
Hours earlier in Lakewood, just one person had their phone out, as a man was placed in the back of a car.
Can I see a warrant with a signature, please?
The woman shooting this video watched her neighbor get picked up this morning. She also asked us not to share her identity.
I demanded a warrant for this man. I wanted to know what was going on, why they were taking one of my community members.
I personally don't have it, but I'm going to stand back here just to be
May I please see the warrant?
Lakewood police said they too were told that Homeland Security was conducting an operation. They didn't say if it was related to a criminal investigation, and ICE wouldn't share any details about what happened in Lakewood. So this woman has questions about why the agents were in her neighborhood in the first place.
They had no matching insignia. They all had things that looked like it could very easily be bought off the internet and just strapped to a vest.
Can I see the warrant?
We spoke with the Colorado Rapid Response Network tonight, an advocacy group that encourages people to document these encounters with the feds without being disruptive. They said watching people being detained is traumatic, and a collective response like the one we saw today in Frisco is, quote, only natural. Spencer Soysher, 9 News.
Tonight, Coloradans are remembering Hollywood legend Robert Redford. He died in his sleep at his home in Utah today at the age of 89. Long before he became an Oscar-winning director, actor, and the godfather of independent film, he lived here in Colorado. Redford spent a year at CU Boulder and worked as a janitor at the sink. In the 80s, he would go on to create the Sundance Institute, nurturing new talent away from the pressures of Hollywood. It's fitting that the film festival he helped create is now moving to a city he loved.
I don't think it's just by chance that the Sundance Film Festival chose Boulder as its next home. The Sundance Film Institute specifically sets aside time and space and resources to foster that up-and-coming talent who are knocking doors in Hollywood and nobody's opening the door to them.
Even after Redford embarked on his legendary Hollywood career, his kids, James and Shauna, would follow in their dad's footsteps, attending CU as well.